Oh, hi. Welcome to day 2. We've got a flange to install. Sturdy old gal. I like some sturdy. Where are we at? What are we doing? Why are we here? What's the meaning of all this? I'll tell you. When last we left our hero, we were about to install this piece and wrap around the wall there until, gasp, our hero remembered he never installed the toilet flange. So, tricksy hobbits that it is. Okay. I need glue for one. Solvents and adhesives. Get your solvents and adhesives here. Just kidding. Sorry, not to just bail on the tutorial like that, but this isn't about you. I've got to do this for me, okay? Okay. Let's compromise. I'll make a quick job of it in the editing. I don't know if this is even going to work, honestly. Yep. Oh, wow, I can feel that melting my gloves. Back to the hardware store. Melted my gloves. Now that I've got all my required components, forgot to get that color right there. You may encounter this problem. So it's good to know that if you have a flange to install, you can use your scrap pieces, because this is supposed to sit at the level of your finished floor. So you can use those to get the proper height. And don't mind me, I'm totally not plumbing. Totally not plumbing. I screwed that up. You also want to make sure that your screw channels there are in the proper orientation. That one is 114 and a half. That is 114 and a half. Tiny nudge that way, I think. Yeah. Right. 14 on the minute. Okay. A tiny bit more. Just to be safe. Give a little wiggle room there. Okay, now that that's out of the way, and Samsung's color correction may make this a little difficult to demonstrate. I wanted to show you guys something else to consider is collar when arranging your pattern too. I didn't notice this yesterday, but it reached out and slapped me in the face when I walked in today. I don't like having the gray on gray here. It's a odd duck out in this box, so I'm assuming it's a more scarce color in this line, assuming there are going to be, so far it looks to be about 3 per 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think there's 14 pieces in a box, and I've got 3 gray out of 14, so it's about a 1-to-5 ratio on the gray. So having them touch is a bit of a faux pas, and we're already, because I screwed around and cut this piece like that, we're already going to have gray on gray over here. So I want to break that up a little bit, do some pattern interruption. Same kind of technique I use on you goofy turkeys when I'm editing my videos to snap you out of your scroll hypnosis and get you engaged. We're going to get people engaged with our floor here. We don't want anyone to look down and go, oh, that looks weird. We want them to look down and go, oh, where'd you get this floor? What brand is that? Who installed that? That's what you really want, is the who installed, if you're me. Now that we have achieved maximum toilet flangery and color coordination, let's get back on what to do here. If you recall, where we left off yesterday, we had cut out our notch for the wall here, and we needed this flange here to know what we had to negotiate with there. I honestly eyeball this usually. You can go the extra mile. Yeah, let me get down on your level. Let's get this trash out the way. Need a floor sweeper guy. I've got my vacuum today. You can be all extra if you want to and go like measure the base of your toilet to get the diameters. But I know that roughly there, back there, out here. That's approximately, well, now that's a little excessive. Let's say ballparking, that bold line right there is our toilet's footprint profile. So if I slide into this, I know that anything I cut inside of here It's going to be just fine. Now I can go two routes here. I can one piece this and cut a semicircle to surround the flange with, or I can just cut it somewhere here at the center of the toilet's footprint line and then just nudge this piece over to hit the wall there. Now I'll still have to accommodate, I'll probably have to cut out, yeah. But we're probably gonna, we made two piece this is what I'm trying to say there. I don't know, we'll see. I gotta think about that for a second. That's the more economical route, because here we're talking about cutting a tiny piece. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Because we're talking about cutting a tiny piece over here. We can save flooring by just scooching him out right there. So let's see. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Yeah, more like that. Yeah. So let's do. I was going to fix something, but then I realized that's a learning opportunity for you guys, so I stopped myself. It involves this over here. We'll get to that in just a moment. So for our case, this is the maneuver, I think. Double score that. The blade's getting kind of dull. This is why I like these Olfa knives, snap-off kind. Because if I had a regular utility knife, I'd have to take it apart, change the whole blade. With this, break off the end. Now I've got a sharp knife again. Just be careful how you dispose of your blades. I set mine aside to throw away properly later. All right. 1, 2. Oh, 2. Hey, away. Okay. So now, yep, just enough room. Get him locked into place and lay it down. So I can show you guys, well, he doesn't have to lay down yet, because I've still got to show you guys what happened and how we're going to fix it. Now don't worry about this guy floating off in space by himself. We'll correct that here in a moment. When we come back on this run, we'll get these two pieces locked in and straight with each other, and then we'll bring in the pieces behind it to finish it off and make sure we maintain our floor system here. And here's a little Farfignugan I was just telling you about. How did this happen? What happened here? Well, when I changed this piece out, remember we had a gray piece here. I swapped it for one of the more tan pieces. When I locked it into place, we scooched this whole run that way. So here's what we're going to do about it. Z-bar, hammer. In this case, it's really just that simple. As that. Just take it, scoot it over. Now, if that didn't work, this is where your Z-bar would come in. They came down there on the back of the floor, tap through, slide him back over to where we need him. Now that we've got this back, see no more gap, I can take him. I'm doing the same thing that I've done with everything else now. Got my hand back here underneath, my hand over here guiding it in. Next to the piece. Come on, get in there. Okay. Now, sometimes you gotta go back and forth a little bit. Work the side, work the long seam. There we go. Now, I've got a little bit of bounce to my floor, so I'm going to take my tap block as soon as I find it. Now you can't really do this until you get to your third or fourth run. From there, it's all smooth sailing. All the tutorial stuff happens in runs 1 through 4, and then any surprises along the way, then the finish. Everything else is just lay the floor. What I do, come along, every time you get a run done, go back on the seam right here, the short seam, tap, and then just along the piece. Little tap, little left tap, on the seam, right here, big tap. Make sure, and there it laid down. No more bounce. Don't go past it. If you don't have any flooring back here like we done on the toilet side, don't go past that. Just run along. Good flooring like this Mohawk, you can even just, you don't have to take your piece out. You can just slide it back and forth as you go. And you'll see me do that here shortly once I get to really going on the floor. So many staples. All right, we're going this way. So we're gonna do another one. First, I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up though. Grab my Milwaukee shop vac. All right, now, remember our gray friend from earlier? I'm gonna scooch him down there to the end. Let's start our next run maybe. What kind of pattern have we got here? And that way, we need to be out here. I like the way that looks. So I need a starter to go down right here. Remember, I've got this flipped around. So we cut on the right, so it can go to the left. Another move you can do if you want to get real fancy. If you have a short piece like this, I wouldn't go much bigger than this one. Say this size or smaller. You can go ahead and put them together prematurely, horizontally, or laterally, I guess, and then install them together instead of having to fight that short seam. Treat it like one big piece. Almost accepted it. Oh, a little bit of bounce right there. Go on this side. I'm almost in a position to start flooring the correct way. May actually be able to. Let's find out. Same thing as before, just backwards now. And I think you will find faster and easier. Look at that. Boom, done. You can even, to try to save time, continue your stair-step pattern in on one side and then do your runs off of it. See how that looks. That's a good one. Why do you fight me? I promise it sounds like I'm hitting it harder than I really am. Next, I need someone to end right there. Let's go. Here. Once you get good and practice, you can save time by not even making a pencil mark, just using your square as a straight edge, scoring your line. Lay it right down. I love it. Seam. Then 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see if we can start making use of some of these closers, yeah? Here's a handy little organizational tip for you. When you're stacking your cut pieces on the side they go to, if you stack them large to short, you can see in a quick glance visually what it is you're working with and easily access whichever piece you need. Garbage! Nailed it. And since we two-pieced this last one, I'm going to recommend that we one-piece the next run to keep these from getting out of alignment. I need a new box though. No, I don't need a new box because we have cut pieces. Next guy up. Oh goody, another opportunity to use our Elikliv tape measure. I need this distance, please. Elikliv says 2 feet 6 inches. Now, since we're using one piece that has a wall on either side, I'm actually going to cut from the cut end over. I'll be measuring from the cut end instead of from the factory edge. That way, if we have a small piece of scrap left over, we can still use it. If I cut from this side, we'd be left with a useless piece of scrap that has cut ends on both sides. So, measuring from the cut end, when you have wall to wall in one piece, Elikliv said 2 feet 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 30 inches. Take about 1/4 of an inch off. There. Now I got a nice little guy for later. Now, well, that was not accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. I messed up somewhere, so I'll have to cut a different piece. I'm not sure what happened. I think I forgot to add the tape measure, but I thought the point of that was, I don't know. I thought the point was that the tape measure added the 3.2 inches for you. Maybe not. There we go. That's better. Now, I'm going to measure or mark the approximate outside of my flange there. Better yet, there and there. Now I'm going to get my depth from that piece to this piece. I've got 2 1/8. We'll call it 2 3/8. So I had 2 3/8 from this piece to where this piece was sitting. So I'm going to measure up 2 3/8. Now, if you want to get fancy and get a string or something, you can make a compass. I'm just going to use my tape here to get a rough circle, and then I'm going to bigify that just a touch. All this is scrap. If you don't have a jigsaw, multi-tool, or other means of cutting this out, one thing you can do is carefully score the circle. I do it a few times, then cut. I'll show you with a marker here. We'll pretend this is your knife. You'll cut along the outside of your circle, then come back and make pizza wedges. Sorry, I meant to say it like that. Cut little triangles into it. And then you'll be able to snap each one of those out until you get your circle. You'll have to clean the edge up a little bit with your knife if you want it to be fancy. But that's how you get Semicircle out if you don't have any power tools to do it for you. But I have power tools. In this case, with built-in dust collection. Let's see how we did, gang. Why aren't you going into your home? All right, sorry, gang, but that's going to have to be it for day 2. I've got a funeral to go to. No, it was a short day, but I had stuff to ship this morning for your job. We sold a wand, and we got a commission for 5 charcuterie boards. Dinosaur commissioned another cutting board. It's going to be awesome. Well, hot pad in that sense, but essentially the same thing. Block of wood that's been finished. Any hooters. I gotta go bury a buddy, and we'll wrap this up tomorrow. See you in the next clip. Love you. Bye. Hey, we're back on, I think, technically day 4. I'm going to call it realistically day 3. Let's see, because we got started, and then I needed my jigsaw. No, the flange. The flange is what stopped us. I needed my jigsaw and my flange, so we had to come back another day. And then needed something that day too, I think. Maybe that was the day I needed my jigsaw. I don't remember now. But then the last time I was here, I was only able to film for I think 15 minutes before, or half an hour before I had to go to a friend's funeral services. So for you, as long as you don't make the same mistakes or forget the same things that I did, you should still be on day 1. This should only take a day, honestly. 2 days if you're completely new to it and it takes you a little bit to get the hang of it. But really, if you don't have all the concurrent obligations and priorities that I do, as well as the dysfunctioning brain that I have, then realistically, you should be able to get it done in a day. I should have been able to get it done in 6 hours, but here we are. So how am I going to start the day? Sweeping. It's important to remember, I think I probably explained this already, but once you've got flooring down, whenever you sweep in between runs, sweep away from the floor, because you don't want to sweep any little crumbs or crusties up underneath it. See, look at this. I don't know how well that's reading on camera. I'll come down and get a close-up for when we suck it up. This is what I'm trying to explain to people, and I know you guys will understand because you trust me and you listen, you pay attention. But most people don't. Look at that. It's the camera's not doing it justice. It's a heaping pile of dirt and crusties the size of my hand. And look at this. We even got little chunks of drywall in here and stuff. Little rocks. Where does this stuff all come from? Well, we live in a rural community, a farming community, so it's already dusty by nature. Plus, we have a lot of manufacturing and an oil refinery here. So it's a naturally dusty environment already. Plus, this is an active work site. There's sawdust and dust all over the house that gets carried around. We get up, leave to go to the bathroom or leave for the day or whatever, come back in, dragging stuff on our shoes. Even just me being the only person here, I've made this much dust, and the environment has made this much dust in the few days since I've been here. It's crazy. Here's something I wanted to show you guys too that I didn't think about making before, but it's real handy. You can take anything like a paint tray or some kind of container or tool bag or something if you want. This isn't mandatory, but it's helpful. You'll find if you start doing this stuff, eventually you get tired of crawling 5 feet to grab your tools because you can't just carry them with you on every piece. You leave them in a pile, you do a little bit of work, you move down the line, then you got to drag your pile with you. So sometimes it's just easier to have them in a little thing like this. My glue block too. I don't need that, but I would like my cutting board. Have I got one? I don't need it yet. Pull bar. Do you want a pull bar or want my cat foot profile? And then there, now I've got a little thing. And look, here's what I did. I just took a paint tray and duct taped a scrap piece of carpet to the bottom. That way the hooks don't damage the floor while I'm working. Sliding stuff around. All right, where did we leave off? Toilet. No, we've got to get to the toilet. So we were doing our runs here. Remember I was telling you guys you can start at one side and build your stair-step pattern and then come along and do your runs. We're at the end of that now because I have a short piece like that. The next piece would be longer than that, so I can't do another run until I finish this one. You guys already know what to do there, so I'm going to knock it out real quick, and then we'll reconvene over at the toilet. Forgive the weird angle. This is about the only way I could get this shot for you guys. Oh, I see a staple poking. Where was he? All right, good deal. Now, I'm gonna check my scrap pile over here. See if I got one that'll fit. And I do. Just needs a minor modification to be applied thusly. It used to be nice and tight over here. Oh, wrong way. Come on, hands. I got a doctor's appointment in half an hour. I forgot about another short day. That's okay. We'll come back afterwards to do some more. Scooch him back out of the way. Come on. Come on, Betty. Come on, Betty. There she goes. I'm going to wait to tap these until I have something behind it. Okay. We've got him in place. We could go ahead. See that right there? And a tiny bit of sawdust was enough to keep these from going together correctly. Okay. I may go ahead and just gently. I feel a little better about that now. Let's go ahead and just so we have something sturdy, because when we go to put these back pieces in behind the toilet, we're going to be tapping and applying force this way. I need something I can put my weight on, and that's not a whole lot right there for me to cover. I need more surface area, so I'm going to put, pardon. Forgive me, brother. I'm going to have to put something here that I can kneel on, or the words I was trying to spit out. So I'm out of cuts that will fit, so grab me a long boy. You know the deal by now. Give it about 1/8 to 1/4 inch for expansion. Make your mark, make your cut. Oh, need to go deeper. I will warn you guys, it is kind of dangerous to break pieces the way I do. If the stuff doesn't have a rigid core, or even some of the thinner rigid cores will can bend. This is like a composite plastic type material, so I mean, if you bend it, put enough force into it, it will bend and keep that bent shape. A little bit of crud on my tongue there. Not my tongue, the floor's tongue. The floor has a tongue? Get out of here, Bob. Come on. Get in there. Why don't you like go when you're home? Do I seriously have to tap this one? There's something blocking me. If you have pieces that don't want to go together, don't force them. Take them apart if you have to and inspect them and see if there's something going on. Check the groove. Here, can you guys see what I'm pointing at? Not entirely. Like in this instance, I'm going to check the groove right here and the groove all along here. And I'm talking, get down and really look at it. A magnifying glass would not be a ridiculous tool in this situation. So there's nothing there. So what I'm going to do is now check the tongue on the same side that I'm having issues with and the side over here to see if there's something there stopping me. And see, look what I found. I don't know how well that's reading on camera against the floor, but see how the corner of the tongue here and here got chipped, the box got banged. You're going to always want to check your corners and your edges on these when you're putting them in, because they get handled pretty roughly between manufacturing and when they get to you. Now, you guys probably cannot see this, I'm guessing. But right here, pull it back in the center, Rick. I think it looks a little bit darker there on camera. Maybe I can zoom. Yeah. Right here in this darker spot, it's concave. It got dinged, so the top and the bottom bulged up a little bit. So I'm going to take my knife and shave that bulge down ever so carefully. And then it should receive it just fine. Apologies if I get out of frame. I'm watching the work and not the camera, so I don't slice my finger off. And the same on the back, if I can. I don't think the back did it necessarily, maybe. Tiny bit. Now you see that? Literally just 2 shavings is what was jamming us up there. 2 teeny tiny little shavings. I'm going to go further and taper it a bit just in case there is still some bulge there. Yep, there was a little bit. Okay, now let's try it. Look at that. Went right in that time. Fighting me a little bit, but they do that. Now see how I'm using my knee on the previous run. I'm putting my full weight on that. My right knee is just balancing me. So I keep these pieces from moving as I go along the tap because we know these are square still. Okay, now I've got room, as you can see. Before I only had out to here. Now I've got my weight on this, so when we tap on these, it won't move the whole floor out and potentially unlock some of our joints that way. We don't want that. All right, I've only got about 5-10 minutes before I've got to leave for my appointment, so let's see if we can't knock this out real quick. All I'm doing here is just laying my new piece down at the opening of the little enclave thing here. I'm gonna mark that, come out here, do my thing, use my cutting board so I don't scratch the brand new floor. See, now this is not handy. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna scooch you back. Oh my. Flange goes out to there, so I'm marking the width of my flange, just kind of like how we did with this, but now we're going to do the one piece thing. So, I don't have my tape on me, but here's what I can do. I can take one of my scrap pieces, like my tap block, mark the distance from the end of it to the start of my last piece, then get one out. I can just transfer that distance right about where the center is. You can just eyeball it. So I take the line that I made, put it on the edge of this piece, mark up there, and now I know how big my circle is going to be. Now I'm going to go outside of that just a little bit to give me some more space and come around like this. One swoop, go around like that with the other swoop. That's not quite round. All right, I'm out of time. I've got to run to my appointment, so we will continue this when I get back. I'm going to get back here one more time. Now, granted, nobody's ever going to walk back there, but I treat the whole thing like it's important. Now, simply use your preferred cutting method of choice to remove the offending semicircle. Helps if you turn your dust collection on. Alright. Easy does it, girl. Here she comes now. And come on, baby. There she goes. All the way down. Didn't even have to get my tap block. Beautiful. Check our reveal. We're real tight around here. We could have done that here too. But I wanted to show you guys that you do have options so that if you had landed, say, further back where this wasn't an option, that this was one. So there you go. Now that failure gets tricky. Now here, once again, you've got options. You can shut the water off completely to your house, remove the valve and stuff in the way, cut a hole exactly where it needs to be, and then slide the piece down over the pipe and be super fancy about it. Or, since this is behind the toilet, another option would be to get you a piece where your seam is going to end right on that, and the seam from the other one ends right on that, and you cut your circle out that way. I am guessing you guys and most people not wanting to go to the effort, or you may not have the skill to do the plumbing to be able to remove the valve. While I would like to show you how to do it that way, since I figure the most likely scenario you'll find yourself in is wanting to mate two seams together, we're going to go that route. So I'm going to grab one of my scrap drops from the other side. Let's see, he's not quite long enough. He is. All right. So we're going to do this like this. We're going to mark the center. We're all the way up against the wall now, right? And then pull your piece away from the wall your 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, and then mark the exact center of that pipe. I don't have any scrap pieces for this side that I can fit in here, so I'm going to have to measure and cut a new piece. Now, those of you at home can use your tape measure like this, same thing that we did before. Figure out where the exact center of your pipe is, subtract 1/8 to 1/4, and that's your number. I am going to put my faith, I trust Elikliv's new digital tape measure so much. They're not paying me to do this part. This is all me. I'm telling you, this is a great tape measure. I trust it so much, I'm going to use that. 20 1/4 or 24 1/4. If you're like me and you read in inches. Now, I've got this facing the right way, okay? Since we pulled our measurement this way, we're going to transfer our measurement this way. 24 1/4 inch. Remember, if you measured from this side, just remember where your cut's got to be. So if you got your piece facing the correct way and you're going against that wall, you know you've got to have your cut side on that side. So you're going to make your cut coming from this side. I know it can get confusing, but if you just slow down and think about what you're doing and use some common sense, it's really not that hard. So what I'm doing now, I'm making a straight mark. I'm making a straight line where my marks were. I'm trusting Elikliv. Here's the piece we know it's gonna fit. Here's the piece we're trusting from Elikliv. And I'm gonna do this all in one take. So you guys don't think I'm doing any clever editing tricks. Let's see. So that lines up with the center of the pipe. Oh. How you like that? Oh, baby. That's a little snug, but I want you to see too, look, I missed the line. So once I cut that off, it'll fit perfect. Good job, Elikliv. Now you can bust your measuring tape out and do your fancy measuring stuff again here in just a moment, because we've got to see what the distance is, or you can, once again, so now we found ourselves in a position where our flooring piece is just slightly larger than the opening we have to close it with. So we got to get our tape out again. I'm going to measure the distance at each side. So over here, I've got 6 3/4. Over here, I got 6 7/8. So you want to go with the smaller number, which in this case is 6 3/4. Subtract 1/8 to 1/4 from it. We'll go 6 5/8. So with your piece facing the proper way, just like we swapped around on the last one, we swap around on this one. With your piece facing the correct way, you want to measure, well, I lost my pencil, hang on. There we go. You want to measure from the back. So what did I say, 6 5/8 over here. And we'll do 6 3/4 over here. And then this one, we'll just do the whole piece 6 3/4. Then you can use your flooring as a straight edge on the one that's too long for your square. This one's just short enough, and I've got a factory edge there. Do that with. This one, I'm going to steal a plank from earlier. Pay no attention to that. I totally did not cut this backwards on the first take and have to redo it. It's okay to make mistakes, but not if you're me in this moment, because we need every square inch of this flooring that we got. We should, since we measured over the tub and all, we measured the whole room and not the actual floor space, I think we'll be okay. We can afford a little bit of scrap. There's going to be a big mess on these, so I'm cutting them over the trash can. Whenever I cut a piece on the jigsaw or something, I like to run my fingers along to remove any burrs and flash on there. All right, we got our pieces cut. You can check the fit, putting them in there at an angle like this, which you are going to want to do anyway, because this is how we are marking where our waterline is. I'm marking front and back with a little bit of wiggle room. Something here. Just don't forget, you're going to lose about 1/8 of an inch when you lock your pieces together. So make sure you compensate for that by starting your circle, or your semicircle, 1/8 of an inch back and finishing 1/8 of an inch further than the actual thing is, if that makes any sense. You got two options now. You can lock your pieces together and use a hole saw or spade bit or something, or you can just carefully cut out the 2 semicircles with your cutting tool of choice. I'll be using the Jigsaw again. I'm not going to make you watch me do it. And we're back. Tell them what they won, Johnny. Well, they won a brand new floor binder toilet. Yay! Gonna have to give that one just a little more brace than I did. Probably gonna be the same with this one. Yep, same thing on him. Should have given him a 1/4 inch of wiggle room instead of an 1/8, but I was trying to be slick and fancy for y'all. I'll be right back. And we're back again. See what happens this time. I recommend, if you can, trying to get your pieces together. Oh, almost had it. There we go. There we go. I'm dropping them in. Mine still came apart a little bit. Now you're gonna get to see why the Z-bar is so important. And the cat paw. And you guys see this blazing gap right here. That's order of business number 1. My carpeted tool tray for this one. Get where you guys can see both points of action here. Now the reason I'm going on this side, if I go to the other side, I could slide under this drywall and then it'll be harder to bring them together. On this side, I've got solid wood I'm going up against. So you may want to have, if you guys don't have that luxury, you may want to have another friend with a cat paw or a pry bar, something come over here to push against you while you're over here doing work. So watch what happens when I give it the old Paparuski. There, now we've got room to get our Z-bar in there. Watch our gap as we tap, tap. There she is. And we're gonna do the same thing against the back. My camera's not good enough to show you guys that seam. You just have to trust me. Okay, not worried about that. Now I'm going to go back to just laying floor until my next encounter, and then I'll bring you guys back in. In this situation, you're going to have to pull a bunch of numbers, so what I like to do is just go ahead and draw a little picture, a little diagram. Focus distance here to here. Come on this side and do the same thing. I would measure 3 points, see how long your pieces are. For example, mine are about 49 inches, right around there. I've got 3 inches there, a little over 3 there, 3 1/4 there. 3 1/8, something like that. So I'm gonna go 3 1/2 all the way down. Your numbers will be your numbers, don't worry about that. And just transfer your drawing onto your piece. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Fortunately for me, in this scenario, I can do things like prop it up. You won't be so lucky. A, I apologize for the audio in that last clip. I just realized that my mic came unplugged. B, I think old dad was wrong, kids. I don't think we are going to have enough to finish this one. I think we're going to be not quite half a box shy now that I'm looking at it, which sucks. But I didn't order it. So there you have it. All right, on my vanity. it's just over 35 inches wide with my drain and stuff centered around the 14-inch mark. So mark my wall here, mark my wall here. Now the base of the cabinets comes out at 18 inches. All right, so I think we've got the pieces to make this work. Just gotta transfer our distances. What we do, make sure your piece is already facing the right way. We've got a groove in back, so we're gonna transfer our measurement to the tongue side. So over here we are at, I got 2 inches that side. I'm subtracting my 1/8 to 1/4 in my head. So let's go, yeah, 2 there, 1 3/4 there. That means I go 2 here and 1 3/4 over here. Take my very last full piece, oh boy, to use as a straight edge. We are cutting this one so close, gang. I'm nervous. Cutting board. Knife. Knife. Do floor. Do floor-ish. These early thousands pop metal references doing anything for you guys? Here's where your pole bar is going to be your best friend again, or your Z-bar. Sorry, I'm blocking you guys, aren't I? And if you do it right, you don't even need your hammer. You can just put it back there, hold it flat with your opposing hand, and just kind of rock the Z-bar back and forth to give it that lateral pull that it needs. Okay, she lays down flat. Quite literally the exact same thing over here. So I grab all my exact same tools, and this piece is going there. So we've got, this one's tricky because it bulges out. 1 inch there, 1 3/4 there, 1.5. So I take my measurement from here, put it here. Take my measurement from here, put it here. But there is still the matter of my arch nemesis. No, not him. The backs of closets. Always the last piece of the floor to go in. Always where nothing seems to work like it's supposed to for some reason. But we're breaking the cycle today. Today, backing in the last closet is going to go smoothly. Get out of the way, other Rick. Where I choose to have my quiet time is my business, and I won't have you telling me where and when I can. Now that that's taken care of, let's see if our one remaining piece is enough to cover. I think it is. I think we're gonna just barely squeak by, but I think it's enough. And that's it. It's a floor. You're not getting off that easy. I know this was a how-to video kind of, but I still gotta say my piece at the end, right? You know, we had some fun doing this, and if you had some fun watching, or if you got anything of value from this video, do please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons below. And check out our links in the description. We have a website now, our store, rickthejerk.com. Thanks to my dude, Brent E. Much gratitude. And all kinds of other fun stuff. But we have some merch on there with new merch coming soon. And new items from my woodworking business, Jigsaw Woodcraft, added every day. Also, watch for the Jigsaw Woodcraft channel to launch. That's coming soon as well. So if you like this flavor of entertainment but want to see more of the woodworking stuff, I'll probably have it over there. With all that said, it is lovely to see that you're still here, because that means that you're winning. No matter what battles you may be facing every day, I know we're all going through it inside our bodies and our minds, some more than others can even fathom, but you're still here. So that means you're a champion. You're the champion. And I'm proud of you. And if nobody else has told you today, me and Baby Larry would love to be the ones to let you know that you are doing a good job. And we love you. Bye. Where do you guys want to go after this? I want to get a cookie bouquet. I'll have what he's having. Oh, you guys.
Good job, Daddy.
Thank you, baby.